So this may be a very touchy topic for a lot of you that are about to watch this, but it has to do with piracy. And I thought I'd make a video on this because, frankly, I haven't ever seen really a good video on YouTube where people actually talk about piracy and, the significance of piracy. And there's an article that I found online written by Brandon Price on April 13th, 2010. And it's just a fantastic article, so I'm going to put the link down in the description box below, but I'm going to read that. But before I do, I just have a few points here that I want to talk about when it comes to piracy. I mean, piracy is basically, as most people are aware, illegally downloading music, games, movies, books, pretty much anything online without paying for it, of course, without having permission. So in most countries, that's unlawful, and there's some really big problems with it, actually. Now, I confess we've most people have done this before in our past, or maybe you're doing it right now, and you don't really care, you don't think it's a big deal. I asked you that you would at least listen to what I have to say and, think about these things. But some of my points would be that, first of all, and I'm going to address this from, say, let's just say a purely humanistic worldview, okay, without God involved. Just common sense things, and then I'll dive into why, I believe that it's wrong from a Christian point of view, as I am a professing Christian. And I want to give people the reasoning behind why I think that it's wrong from a Christian worldview. But first of all, the main obvious thing is that when you pirate something, okay, when you're illegally downloading music, movies, or what have you, say on like the Pirate Bay, the simple fact of the matter is that nobody gets paid. Nobody gets paid. That means the musical artists don't get paid, the directors don't get paid, the actors don't get paid, the writers don't get paid, and so on. These people don't get paid at all. And, you're basically getting it for free. And so that's my first point, is that nobody gets paid. The second point would be that the people that deserve to get paid for producing what they have, because they do deserve to get paid, whatever they put their price on it, well, they don't get paid, and that's the second point, is that those who deserve payment don't get it. It'd be like if, I wrote an ebook on baldness and hair loss, but people started to pirate it and illegally get it without paying me as the writer. That's not fair. I would be upset about that. Because I deserve to get paid for producing that which I created. In other words, I'm worthy of my wages. I labored. I worked for that. And if I set a price for it, I expect to be paid in order for you to get whatever you want. So those are a couple points that are wrong with it. And a lot of those points are obvious. Most people understand that. But I would like to dive into another whole area where a lot of people miss. A lot of people don't think about this one. And that is, if you've ever illegally downloaded movies and music and whatnot off YouTube or any place, online, you understand and realize how easy it is. But when you participate in that activity, when you are engaged in that type of activity, I know for me personally, and I'm not sure if other people feel this way, but the fact of the matter is that it's not being fair to other people. For example, let me explain. There's other people like your friends, your family, and you may say they all do the same thing, like they all part. But my point is that there are people that go to the store or whatever and buy things. And here you are getting it for free. And that's not really fair. That's just not fair. And that kind of makes it should make you feel bad. That you're getting something and somebody else is having to pay for it. That's not fair, and it should bother you. It should definitely bother people when you understand and realize that. The other point, and this is a big point, would be the fact that usually people have two choices when they're faced with deciding whether they're going to illegally download content. The first choice is that they can get it for free, just do it and download it. Or the second choice is that they can wait and save up their money to get it if that's what they really want. But see, the first choice is much more convenient, and people start to justify it and say, well, it's free. Why would I pay all that money to get it? So you download it, you take it, you get it for free. And you do this over and over and over and over. The problem with that, though, is that it basically encouraging this behavior, this idea that if you don't have enough money, then just take it for free. And really, that actually is encouraging theft. That's encouraging stealing. Because if you do it enough times and you start to think like that in your mind, that, well, I don't have enough money, so I'll just take it for free, then people may start to actually act that out in their behavior. Remember, what people believe is usually will determine how they behave. And if you start believing that you don't have to save up your money in order to get something, that you can just get it for free, and you don't believe that that's wrong, then you more or less could actually start acting that out in other areas of your life. So it teaches people the wrong way in order to achieve things, to purchase things, to get things. If you don't have the ability to get it, well, basically pirating teaches you, just take it. That's basically what it's teaching you. And that certainly is not a good thing, especially when you think about it in other areas of your life, and how it could definitely cause harm to other individuals, even close loved ones, really. I mean, everything starts out really small, and it seems so insignificant, but it can really start to build up, and it can do a lot of damage in your life, whether you think so or not. And this is coming from somebody that, knows exactly what I'm talking about and the effects that it's had. So, my other point would be that I would stress that, illegally downloading material, movies and songs and all this stuff, it doesn't give you a sense of accomplishment. For example, let's say here's a candle holder, okay? Candle holder. Let's say that I wanted to get this to add it to my collection, right? I could either take it for free or work really, really hard, save up my money, and then purchase it. I could set a goal, and my goal would be to save up enough money to get this. But when you pirate, when you take things without paying for it, you're bypassing all of that. So you aren't actually accomplishing your goal. And so it doesn't leave you with a sense of fulfillment or accomplishment. In fact, people that pirate are bankrupt in that area. And, they might think that it's funny and weird and crazy that you would actually spend money on movies, and why have all those movies when you can just put thousands on a, 3 terabyte hard drive. I understand the logic behind that, but they're bankrupt in the sense that they aren't actually accomplishing anything, right? They didn't work hard to earn what they have. They just took it for free. And so you don't get this sense of fulfillment, this sense of accomplishment, this sense of, achieving your goal, if you will. And that is one wonderful thing as a collector who collects anything. You could be a collector of rare antiquity, a collector of Star Wars, a collector of movies, There's many different collectors, and one of the main things that drives them is this sense of accomplishment, the sense of they were able to save up their money and then purchase it and add it to their collection, that they now own it, that they paid, they worked hard for it, and they've accomplished their goal. And what I'm trying to say here is that when people just take things for free without understanding, realizing that they're bankrupt in that department, and they kind of feel like worthless, and they probably should feel worthless. They should feel disgusting. They should feel, poor and whatnot, because it doesn't teach them to work hard for what they want. Piracy doesn't teach you that. It teaches you the opposite. It teaches you don't have to work hard for what you want. Just take it for free and, find and twiddle your way around the rules and the regulations and the laws and just take it, And so that's what it teaches you. It teaches you the exact opposite of working hard for something that you want. And of course, people have all the excuses under the book of why they can't get it. I don't have a job, I'm too young, my parents can't afford it. Believe me, I've heard the saying, if there's a will, there's a way. If you really want something, you can work hard for it. You can ask somebody, could I do some yard work? Could I, whatever you can do. And let me put it this way, too. Movies and songs and those things, they're not really necessities. Those are just things for entertainment and enjoyment. And, you may think that you need them, but in reality, you really don't. We really don't need those things. It's just enjoyment. And if you have the ability to actually purchase those things, consider yourself blessed. The other thing is that God, and I know I had said I wasn't going to get into the Christianity thing yet, but mind you that, in Christianity, God will always provide for His people. He promises us that. So, I guess my big things that I'm stressing here is that, and I understand when you're illegally downloading, you're just making a copy. It's not like taking something from someone and they don't have it anymore. You're essentially digitally copying it. But my point is still the same, and it still stands, in that it teaches you that you don't have to work hard you don't have to save up your money, you don't have to work hard for getting that particular movie or song or whatever. You just take it for free. And before you know it, you start wanting to get everything for free. And so it actually teaches you the complete opposite of what people once understood and realized, that, a hard day's work is what put the food on the table. That meant something. That was, what's the word? That was honorable, that was admirable, that was a test of a man, you get a very good sense of accomplishment. And that's the whole thing, guys. That's the whole thing about it. You set a goal, you work hard at it, And many times it's that sense of accomplishment, it's that sense of accomplishing the goal that's even more rewarding than the actual thing that you achieved. And that builds up character. It builds up character, honor, loyalty, all of these wonderful things. And, I just think that a lot of young people, and maybe even older people that are participating in this activity, forget all of these things. And it really does cause a deterioration in our society and people and our values and morals. So I just thought that, I'd share these thoughts. And, there's laws in place. The law is only good if people obey it. And unfortunately, the law wasn't put into place to more or less hurt you. Although some laws can be bad, but I'm saying for the most part, right, laws and things are set up in place to protect you. They're good. They're good things. Because, if there was no restraints on anything, anybody pretty much could do anything they want and, get away with it. So, I'm going to cut this video short now, but I will make another part to this because I'm sure there'll be other things that come in my mind, and I do think this is a really important topic. But I guess I will just stress, if you really want something, guys, if you really want, to have a nice, if you want to have a lot of movies, if you want to collect some stuff, if you want to have a nice collection of music, do it the right way, even if you just forget, the laws and how greedy the corporations are and everything, at least you do the right thing, right? Have a good conscience. Work hard for those things that you want. Let that be the test. Say, you know what? There's a lot of bad things, right, wrong with all these big corporations and producers, and they're really greedy, but you know what? I'm going to be the better man, and I'm going to work hard for those things which I want. And I'm not going to, just take things for granted. I'm not just going to take things for free, but I'm going to work hard for those things that I want. So with that, take care.